Okay, welcome back to science. This is going to be our last science class at home. Aren't you guys excited? You guys will be here next week, and we're going to be doing chapter 10 here in class, and it's going to be a lot funner. Not that your home isn't fun, but I know that sometimes if you don't understand something, it's hard to ask, and if you don't, if there's probably a lot of distractions at home. But anyways, we did not finish our science lesson last week. We only got to number 4, so we're going to answer question 5, 6, and 7, and I'll try to make it as short as possible. And if you go to your science book, The World of Animals, go to page 37. Okay. This is a very short chapter. It's only one page front and back, and that's it. So don't get upset if I say we're going to start reading the whole thing over again. And that's because questions 4, 5, and 6, it's asking us to think for ourselves to get the answer, to answer the question. It's not something you in science, when you read science, which is different from literature or history, you read the information and you need to come up with your answer, not copy the answer out of the book. Okay, so I like to read the question first, because if I'm just reading, I don't know what I'm supposed to answer. So I'm going to look at my question number 6 on chapter 9 on flight. And the question is, why can't man fly by strapping, or in other words, putting some fake wings on? Why can't man fly by strapping wings to his arms? Okay, so let's read from the beginning of the chapter, where it says, although some birds are flightless, flightless means they cannot fly. Although some birds are flightless, most birds are designed for flight. So God made them to fly. So that means he made something special about them that only they have, so that they're able to fly. To watch a bird soaring into the sky is a marvelous thing, and for centuries man sought to imitate birds, but only in the last 100 years or so has man truly begun to understand how perfectly designed the bird's body is for flight. Birds have very strong breastbones attached to wide, I'm sorry, tongue twister here. Birds have very strong breastbones attached to wide sternums. They have stiff backbones to withstand the forces of the wind, of the flight. Okay, so the first paragraph, remember I said that God designed birds specifically, just something that they have so that they can be good um, in flying. Okay, so the second paragraph explains to us what it is that these birds have so that they're able to be good flyers. First of all, birds have very strong breast muscles, I'm sorry. So they have, okay, sorry about that. I got interrupted just there for a minute. Okay, so the birds have very strong breast muscles. These muscles right here, we have those muscles there too. Our muscles are strong, but not like the birds. These muscles are very strong so that they can use their wings. I mean, birds can fly for hundreds and hundreds of miles and not get tired. They need to have strong muscles. Okay, and it says the second thing is that they have stiff backbones. So their backbones, remember, is our spine. Their spine doesn't bend. Like you can bend backwards and your spine will curve to a certain extent. The birds can't do that. They're very stiff. And the reason for that is that when they're flying, when they're in the air and wind comes, it will not push their wings back and break their wings. Okay, they also have wide sternums. So this bone right here is probably about this wide right here, this bone. It's called a sternum, okay? Theirs is probably a lot wider, and that is also to help them be strong, have strong wings. So that's what we're going to answer for number 5. All right. You're going to put man does not have strong. Okay. The reason we can't fly is because man does not have strong breast muscles, and we don't have a stiff backbone. Also, let's think about this. Birds are very light. Remember, they have hollow bones Their bones are very, very light, and it's easy for them to lift up into the air. I don't know if you've ever held a little bird in your hand. They don't weigh very much. Humans are too heavy to lift themselves with their arms. So this is for number 5. 5. So you're going to answer that. So you might want to pause your video because I'm going to keep moving forward with question number 6. All right? Okay. So let's move on to number 6. Actually, let me finish that paragraph. It says, the muscles help move the wings smoothly and efficiently, and birds also have a special respiratory system that allows them to breathe air through lungs into a system of air sacs that extract much more oxygen than any other animal's respiratory system can. So they have their lungs get more oxygen out of the air than most animals. That is so that they can breathe so that they can have more energy because you need oxygen for energy. Birds have hollow spaces in their bones, making them extremely light for their size. These and many other special features aid the birds in flying. So we also don't have our lungs will not give us enough energy. The oxygen that our lungs take out of the air will not be enough oxygen to create energy to keep us moving in the air, okay? And our bones are too heavy. By far, the most important feature to help birds fly is the design of their wings and their feathers. Their wings are shaped like an airfoil, and you can see a picture there. It's almost like a large teardrop shape. It forces the air to flow more quickly over the wing than under the wing. This creates low pressure over the wings, thus creating a lift. So if you have their wings is like this, the air flows quickly faster here. So then there's a less air. So when there's less air and there's more air here, it'll push the wing up and lift the bird up. All right, go to page 38. The question for number 6 is, how do you think birds use their feathers to stay warm? Let's find out. Birds have 3 kinds of feathers and each with a different function. So remember the feather that I sent you home at the bottom of the feather, the feathers were very fluffy and towards the end they were very smooth. Birds have 3 kinds of feathers, each with a different function. Soft, fuzzy down feathers provide insulation near the bird's body. Over these are the contour feathers that cover the bird's body. All contour feathers point toward the tail, making the airflow smooth over the bird's body. Flight feathers give the wings the needed shape for flying. Feathers are designed with a hook and barb system to help the feather maintain its shape. If a feather gets pulled apart, the bird can zip it up with its beak. This is called preening. Okay, so I sent the feather home with a magnifying glass, and you were supposed to look at each little strand on the feather, and you would see that there was smaller little hairs coming out of those. Those are designed with little hooks to catch onto each other, and so the strands stay together. Now, if they get pulled apart, the bird he takes his beak and he like irons them out, and they get hooked back on, and the feather stays. That's why you see them. It's not that they're cleaning their feathers; they're putting their feathers back in shape. Okay. Okay. So, um, a bird has 3 sets of flight feathers. The primary feathers are attached near the end of the wing. The secondary feathers are attached at the center, and the tertiary feathers are attached at the upper wing close to the body. The movement of the flight feathers makes tiny changes in the shape of the wing to compensate for changing air conditions. Contour feathers on the front of the wing make a smooth surface over which the air can easily flow. Okay, so it didn't go into birds. It did not talk about how the bird keeps warm. But those down feathers, you notice they're all fluffy. So when they're all fluffy, it won't, if say this is a fluffy feather, it won't lay flat on the bird's body. It'll stay away from it with all these little things, and it traps air inside of those little fluffy feathers. Now the bird is warm, just like we are. We're warm. So that trapped air there is warmed up by the bird's body, and so the warm air keeps the bird warm. It keeps it insulated. So number 6, birds can fluff up their feathers and trap air under and between the feathers, and the heat from their bodies warms the trapped air, in turn keeping the bird warm. Okay, that is number 6. So if you want to pause your video and finish writing that, and I'm going to move on to number 7. Okay. The last paragraph. Finally, the bird's tail serves as a rudder. What's a rudder? Have you seen the back of a boat, and it's got these things that turn like this. If you want to turn the boat, you turn it one way. You want to turn the boat. That's a rudder. It helps you move move the direction you're going in. Finally, the bird's tail serves as a rudder. By moving the tail from side to side, the bird can steer or change direction in the air. God designed every part of the bird for efficient flight. God created the bird exactly the way it needed to be in order to be a flying animal. Okay? Number 7 says, how is an airplane wing like a bird's wing? Now, men invented the airplane because they watched birds fly, and they said, maybe we can fly if we have wings. So they tried to create a wing as close as possible to the shape of a bird, believing that they could fly if they had wings. And man flew, not himself, but he created what would say an airplane. I can't think of another word for it. He created an airplane that could fly, and now we could travel all over the world very quickly. So how is an airplane's wing like a bird's wing? Well, they both have the same airfoil shape. If you go back to page 37, you see that teardrop shape. So they copied the shape of the bird's wing, and they created an airplane. They both have the same airfoil shape that allows the air flowing over the wing to create a lift, and that's how an airplane gets off the ground. It starts moving on the ground, and the shape of the wing creates the air to move faster over the top, creating less air, and it pulls the airplane up. Airplane wings are designed to change shapes for different conditions, just like birds. So remember, the birds they have different kinds of feathers depending on what they want to do. All right, so number 7. They both have the same airfoil shape that allows the air flowing over the wing to create lift. That is the answer to number 7. And I believe that's it. I think if you did not bring your magnifying glass, which I think everybody might have, please bring that on Monday when you come back to school. If you still have it, some of you guys did not, you were supposed to look at the feathers and write draw what you saw with your magnifying glass on the back of this paper. On the back of side, there was a little magnifying there. You're supposed to draw it in there. So if you didn't, we'll do that on Monday when you get back. All right. So we'll see you guys on Monday. Can't wait to see everybody. Bye-bye.